that you're missing me. I'm waiting here at home. I go crazy, now you're gone. I realize my love for you was strong, and I miss you here, now you're gone. I get waiting here by the phone, with the picture hanging on the wall. Is this the way it's meant to be? Only dreaming that you're missing me. I'm waiting here at home. I go crazy, now you're gone. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call it mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put this shit in slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean, ayy. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call it mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put this shit in slow motion, ayy. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call it mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put this shit in slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean, ayy. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call it mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put this shit in slow motion, ayy. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. She said that I'm cool.
What's up? What's up? Had my mic turned off there for a second. Ian is with me. We're going to look at some charts tonight. Ian, you got some charts ready for us? Oh, you're still playing the video. This is Ian out dirt biking. Having a good old time. Ian, you there? Check, check, check.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Oh,
I just
good.
I get caught up watching that. It's fun.
What's going on, guys? I know it. Yeah. Dirt biking's fun, huh? Like, that's good that you had that fun.
Yeah, it was a good weekend, man. How was your weekend?
It was good. You know, like, I just work all the time. Everybody was in Miami having fun, but I was just working. Yeah. So let's pull up some Bitcoin. Let's see what's about to happen.
Yeah, Bitcoin's been the one I've been following, and I mean, it seems like everybody's kind of watching the same big macro pattern.
Mm-hmm.
One pattern that I did follow and happened to trade pretty decent was this upward channel that we were in for a few days, 4 or 5 days or so, and it did break, and it seemed like it just maybe got front run on my target here when it came down to that 36 or 35.6 or so.
Mm-hmm.
But when we came back up and kind of tested that diagonal again and came back down, then that 35-100 area got met that I was looking for. And it came right in actually very nicely at the diagonal support of the bigger trend. So this like smaller breakdown target got met with the support. So it kind of worked out nicely. And I took a long right off this wick and been holding for, well, since this candle. And this is on the 4-hour chart. So that's, I don't know, about a day ago. And now you can see we're starting to get some nice upward action. Looking at momentum and money flow. And we're starting to get some nice curvature coming down low, and we are starting to get that bottom. Same with the money flow. I'm looking for all this to really kind of turn up and break to the upside. I'm leaning towards the upside. Anything can happen here, but if we don't, I have a nice tight stop loss. And then this would be a nice short target. I'd look to short back down to the low 30,000s if we do probably come back below really my entry. I think if we come back below kind of this wick, I would look for like further downside. But I'm kind of leaning towards the upside on this one.
You're looking at the what? It's at the hourly? What is that?
This is the 4-hour chart. What are you thinking as far as your overall like market?
I think that we have not seen a good bounce back. At the very least, the markets need to bounce back. You know, like nothing goes in one direction forever. Even if we were in a bear market, which I personally, I have my opinions on what. I don't think we're in a full bear market. I don't think we're in a full run either. I think that some projects will do good and some projects won't in the next couple of days or months or whatever. But I think that for the pullback that we haven't had a nice bounce at all, like in anything, like that should happen, you know? Like even looking at Bitcoin on the 4 hour, it just doesn't look like it's, like where's, like normally you get a nice bounce, you know?
I mean, this is zooming out to the daily here, and you can see all this momentum is just coiling up, like
Yeah.
higher low, higher low, higher low, and that's what I'm expecting to see. Start of a new week, come Monday, Tuesday. This is kind of what I expected. I like one of the longs I had in here. When I took profit, it's because we were already heading into like Thursday, and I'm like the weekend's close. It's just gonna cool off. I bet we see some downside before, and then start over. It's kind of the happens most of the time. It's just probabilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. You got any other projects you want to jump to right away, or?
Let's take a look at, okay, so one that's had some interesting action recently was LYXE, so we can look at that. Like, that one had a crazy little dump. Like, look at the
wick here.
the one
on
that shows you the
daily?
big wick. Is that the one that shows you that? Let me see.
I mean, I'm on the daily here.
There you go. You see that? You see that crazy wick? So this is an event that happened when you were on vacation. Like, yeah, look at the action. The market price rocketed up to $13 out of nowhere, right? And then it plummeted down to like $4. Like,
Yeah, that's 160% fluctuation.
what do you think happened there? Yes, this is Luxo. Yeah.
Honestly, I have no idea.
Take a look at it like down on the minute if you need to, just to see the details of what happened there. This is just an interesting event in general that happened. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, take a nice look at that. Okay, so spikes out of nowhere all the way up to like $13. And then it does that all the way down to $4. Like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, you're right. That happened in about 20 minutes.
A whale sold. Yeah, but also a whale bought. Or someone bought. Oh, that's my cat in the background. But yeah, like a whale, or I don't know if it was a whale, but someone bought up to 13 and then dumped all the way down to, some people were speculating that they were trying to spoof bots. Like they bought a bunch, trying to fool the bots into buying, right? And then when the bots bought, they sold into the bots and tried to scare the bots into selling, and then they bought into the bots. You have a hypothesis on this?
I don't. No, I don't. I'm just kind of thinking about it because you do see it. Like, yeah, it starts to climb first initially, right? So somebody first bought, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like you said, I was on vacation when this happened, and this
It
is
was-
the first I'm hearing about it. So
It was weird. I don't know if it was a glitch. Look, personally, it looks like someone market bot got scared and then dumped, but I have no idea. Like this is just the weirdest looking candle or events that you could, and all
Oh,
of it
come on.
happened in 20 minutes. So
tell us the truth. What were you up to? What were you doing here?
I was just screwing around with the markets. I was messing with
Is
people's
this
heads.
you? Yeah, you are.
That was $5 million. Like that. That would be a lot for me. So
No, that's interesting though. I did not even notice that happened.
it's manipulated. Yeah, I mean it's some kind of manipulation. It's strange stuff. So yeah, that's the big thing that kind of happened in Luxo.
Well, there's even more sell volume over here.
Yeah,
But
and
this
then there
is
was
all on
another dump.
KuCoin. I
But-
don't know if I have any other.
But I'm just hodling my Luxo. Like some people are like, "Oh man, you need to change your model. Like your picks aren't performing too well." In this year alone, I'm up like 500%, and I'm up like 50% against Bitcoin for this year alone. So like people got some short-sightedness. Like they're like, "Oh, we're down for the month," or Luxo dumped for a day. Dude, God changed everything. God changed your whole life. It's like.
I don't.
I-
Yeah,
look,
like I'm.
I changed my model, but you need to have some time scale to it. Like I even did it in my 6-month review. I did some changes to my model, but I do it every 6 months. Not like like something happened in one day. You know what I mean? So But that
Well,
that
yeah, even being at the prices we're at,
mhm.
I'm I'm still up significantly from when I started, so I don't.
Right. Um,
Doesn't
yeah.
really matter.
Yeah, someone's saying that I saw it happen in real time. Gene Evans. He said I saw it happen in real time, and the order book was insane on KuCoin, and it was like millions. Like, yeah, I saw the volume. It was like $5 million, which for this market is tiny. Like this is why I tell people. Look at the cat in the background. Um, that's why I tell people Luxo's like gonna get you a private island if you hold it for long enough, because it's like they don't market, and like I think that's a good thing. You know. Um, because that's what
Yeah,
allows you to find stuff early. Like, you know what I mean?
my
Like Celsius didn't market that much early on either. So, you get to
and
find these gems.
it's still a pretty small market cap too. This kind of shows you that, it doesn't take a lot of people to. When a lot of people do start moving this, it's yeah, it's gonna move a lot.
It's like $1 billion market cap, and it has like one of the best teams out there. I just love Luxo. I'm gonna, I don't know. I drank the Kool-Aid, the Luxo Kool-Aid.
Gotta be under $1 billion, right? At these prices, I would think it would be under that.
So uneven. This is a good question. Gene Evans asked. Okay, so your video on ICP stated that you didn't like the hold the project because of the uneven token distribution, but you don't. Your logic doesn't apply to LYXE. First of all, LYXE is 1/100th the market cap of ICP. Okay, ICP fully diluted. You look at the fully dilution, is like 126 billion. So at that logic, Luxo is 1/26th. So you're getting 126 times more market share for every dollar you put in. And also, ICP was offered to a bunch of rich people, and those rich people were the only ones that were allowed to buy it because they had well connections, and they didn't bring it to the public. Luxo went to the public first. Okay? So, and Luxo started at a much lower market cap. So they thought it shows the mentality of the project. If you go to venture funding and you go to permissioned, you're not a permissionless philosophy. You got to be a permissionless philosophy to thrive, right? Because that's what this whole movement is about. And it works because you get the community excited, right? Like developers are excited. People can jump into your system. People can do really well because they can jump in with everyone else. Everybody's treated the same. No one's treated differently. The rules are the same. Permissionless. That's the philosophy. So if you start off with the wrong philosophy, you can't really believe the team that they have the good philosophy. So 126 the market cap. You're getting 126 times as much. You're not, and that's at the current price. When Luxo first was listed, I was getting in there at like a tenth of the price of where it's at now. So we're talking about Luxo right now. Blum. But yeah, I think we're about to move on from Luxo. Let's go to Kusama.
Yeah, I just been waiting for this to kind of round out, really.
Oh look,
So
it's broken the
lot.
downward trend.
Yeah, in some regards, or it could just be redrawn a little bit and adjusted. I haven't looked at it in a bit here, but there was some levels I was looking for it to come back up to. I think down here when we took a bounce here, and I was looking for this 13, and we didn't recover 13, and we fell back below the 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was kind of my call it quits. Because I remember you kept looking for $6, and I wasn't really looking for $6 till we got back below 10 over in here, and yeah, it kind of went night down there and double bottomed around $4 with these wicks.
So Luxo's token distribution. Someone's asking about token distribution of Luxo. It's just still like 90% undistributed. So that is a more negative thing. But that's why I look at the diluted market cap. And the diluted market cap's $1 billion. So it's still undervalued. If it was fully diluted, it would only have $1 billion market cap right now for this project that's undervalued. And that's because of the poor token distribution on Luxo, which it does have. It's only 10% diluted. In the public, I only look at the diluted market cap. That's my rule for when a project has such a poor distribution. and it's undervalued to its diluted market cap. Okay, I just wanted to get that out of the way. But yeah, look, it dropped down to that previous trend line to support, right? Even with this crazy candle, it kind of.
Well, I was just tweaking that, trying to find somewhere. It just happened to line up in there. That wasn't anything. I was already trying to just tweak this. This was just a range, so this is nothing significant.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, they said that Luxo event. Man, this cat is killing the plant. I gotta get him out of here. Get.
No, and this has been tough to chart with the low volume. There's not, this kind of stuff. This just means I shouldn't try to really even chart this when it's this kind of susceptible to price action that fluctuates like that. I kind of wanted to look at Celsius. I haven't looked at that in a minute.
Okay, we'll look at Celsius. It's hitting all-time new highs, right? It's close to it. I've been so
I saw it at 8. Oh, it did hit up to.
I've been telling everyone that everyone should have this token. Okay, retail, professional, unprofessional. I've always said this is like a token that everyone should own, and I've been saying it all along. And it's been outperforming everything, especially in the bear market. So.
Yeah, especially in the bear market. I'm blown away because it was only a couple live streams ago when we were back in here, and then this was the big dump, everything, and Celsius has just recovered and it's at like highs. So, amazing.
Dude, it's making all-time new highs when everything else is in a pan. Like the market fear and greed index right now, it's like 15. And Celsius is near making all-time new highs.
Yeah, you were telling me it's different. I said I can tell by this price action. Nothing. I have not seen anything that's doing this other than maybe random.
This is a Warren Buffett type pick. This project, like, it's not only is it undervalued, but it has huge potential for growth. So this one, like if you've read like those books about like. What is the book? The Greatest Investors or whatever. This is one that they would pick because everything about it, like the P/E ratio is like 5. It's undervalued. It's sitting in our face. The most obvious buy in the world is Celsius. In the whole crypto space, this is the one that everyone should own. Just because you can actually calculate the P/E ratios, and it's at 5. So take that for what you will. And that's if it has no growth, which it's going to have astronomical growth with the strategy that they're taking. So yeah, Celsius, I hold it. I'm never selling my Celsius. I'm going to hold on to it left for life. I might sell some of the interest, but I'm never selling the tokens that I bought ever. Sure does make you feel secure, too, when the market's crashing and Celsius is going up. But, okay, so what do you think? What do you think, Ian? We're going to see a big spike, huh?
My thoughts about the TA here is that this has been a pattern I've had drawn for a long time. And I did it on the higher time frames using, the 4-hour and the daily, sticking to the higher time frames. And it's still playing out. This pattern, this takes time. This is how long these things take. I drew this pattern, I think, before we ever broke out of it back in March, and here we are in June, 3 months later, and we haven't even finally hit these targets. I turned the wicks off, so if I do turn them back on, we hit my first target at $8, and we had time to cool down and make another double bottom W pattern, and that breakout, that target takes us right back up to this area I was looking for at about $10 or so, and we came up to what, 9.25 on a wick. So I mean, I guess that target already did kind of get met, but and then we've come down, and it looks like we're rounding out above this previous resistance. So that this chart's going to get messy, but here and here, and now we're hoping to find support right there. I need a nice bright color. So it's just the same thing all over again, right? We had resistance, 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 and then we finally broke through and we got our support and support, and we're just gonna keep doing that up to our targets here, and then we'll see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen after that, but it's getting close to our, at least just from this pattern. And then, but Celsius has been performing great. Like you said, you're never gonna sell it. I should have jumped in on this macro pattern, but I had a lot of stuff tied up. I didn't know what I wanted to get into it. I
Yeah,
should have just put everything into it, apparently.
you had to ride some dirt bikes around, man.
Even before that, man.
Yeah.
Before the whole dump. Before the whole dump. This thing's just survived the dump and it's thriving. Solana, he's saying it's doing better than most coins. Let's take a look.
I don't know about that. Like, there was only like Celsius was. Well, I mean, it looks pretty good. So does ADA, or ADA looks good. You know, like I didn't buy any ADA, but ADA's chart doesn't look bad either.
So the difference between, I would say, this compared to Celsius, this does look good. I'm not saying it doesn't look bad, but why Celsius would look better is because right here's a big pocket of support and resistance, and we're like back testing it from the underside here. So it's finding resistance right here, and it's not support. Whereas when you look at Celsius, Celsius came up and it's already making support to like go up higher, right? So that's what I kind of like about Celsius more. But this does look not bad. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I could check out. I don't ever, obviously I have no trend lines on this, so I haven't really looked at it. What's your thoughts on this?
I haven't had a good chance to look at Solana. I watched Vitalik talking about it, or not Vitalik. Vitalik was talking about Matic. Regarding Solana, I haven't had a chance to look at it because I don't like to look at projects that are hot. I like to look at projects that are not hot. You know what I mean? Like I try to look at projects that no one's talking about. You know. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if $20 was the last chance there to try to get it at 20, or could we come down for further lower lows on this? It did go up quite a bit, but that was also a big drop right there. I'm not sure. I think right now it could be running into some resistance potentially. Like I said, all this chop range right here, it's now resistance, and it, looking at this kind of W pattern, it looks like it's getting in that. I think it goes up more, but as far as new highs, that could be a struggle. I don't know, but I'm not a fundamental guy. I don't know what's coming down the pipeline for this one.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Solana. I can tell you one that has some strong fundamentals. If you look at Kusama, it did recover fast, didn't it? Looks like it recovered pretty fast. Take a look at Kusama though. You know that's what I'm excited about, baby. Fucking
Yeah, we can go to
I can't
Kusama.
believe I said that. I'm a cursor. I swear all the time. YouTube.
One
man,
thing I
they're
do
gonna
see
attack
is
me.
this. I think this money flow might need some time to cool off. This might be a project where, like, when the market's performing really well coming up, maybe this already gets some exhaustion on it. I don't know. I'm just BSing there. Let's go to Kusama.
Look at that.
Yeah.
look,
So
put-
I mean,
okay,
you could.
Put it. Do this. I don't know what charting service you're using, but do me a favor. Look at it on the daily. Put on a moving average, the 30, 33, and the 99. That's what I like using. The moving average, and turn the 33 green with a slightly thick candle or slightly thick thread, and then the 99 make it red. That's just my simple.
All right, which ones again?
So make the on the daily make a 33 and a 99, and you can get rid of the other one for the moving average.
Okay.
And make the 33 green. And the
And the 99, what do you want?
Make that one red, and make it slightly thicker, like one. Yeah.
And you want the 33 to be green?
Mm-hmm. And then make it slightly thicker too. And put it on the daily.
That is the daily. This isn't Kusama though.
Oh. So look. So if you look at that, it's came in the bullish territory again. See what I'm saying?
That's right. I see for for a bounce, and it's above the moving averages right there on the day. Yeah, especially on Heikin-Ishii, right? Yeah, it looks nice.
Like if you
As
look
far as
at
moving averages.
like that that shows everything else is in a bear. Like Solana might be out of it, Cardano might be out of it, but Kusama is definitely like Cardano looks bullish, Solana looks bullish, Kusama looks bullish. I can't say anything about Solana, and I have no reason for Cardano to be bullish. Like people who make Cardano bullish, I don't know why, because it still doesn't have smart contracts. Kusama has, like smart contracts. It has, everything's about to go live. And it's about to be the best blockchain in the entire crypto space in all of crypto history. And it's going live right now. So, there's nothing been that's even close to this, like as far as technology goes. And it's slightly bullish territory. But, like you look at that nice little recovery. I don't know, man. Like, there's nothing quite like the design of these for locking up tokens. The reason why I'm excited about these projects is because they a big element in crypto is having control of the narrative. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who's got a narrative? So you often see these narrative, and whoever's got control of the narrative has control of the money flow. I mean, this thing's going to have something launching every week. And then it's going to move the Polkadot. So as far as controlling the narrative, I think even if it misses the narrative a couple times, doesn't matter. It has a new project every week. And it also is locking up huge amounts of tokens out of supply. So, I mean, you take that as you will from a fundamental point of view. So, and regarding like the design, it's just a beautiful design from an engineering standpoint. Take a look at Luna. If you
Well, I was still trying to figure out why do you use the 33 and the 99?
It's just been a pretty good one for showing the long-term trends. Like when they cross over each other. Like when the green goes beneath the red, it's usually in a bear market, and it shows like the long-term. That's what I like using.
So when I do moving area, I use the 200.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's if we're in a bull market, that's the 200's good. But I guess on Kusama, there's not really enough data for 200.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see it did wick right to it, and it's supported right off the 200. I do that with Bitcoin too. I like to know where it's at for Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin
is below it.
Is struggling to get.
Dude, Bitcoin
it really needs
weak.
to get above it.
Bitcoin looks
It does.
weak compared to the alts, which is crazy. In a pullback. That's why I said to people, this market is different than 2017. And the people who do the little thing, this time it's different, with SpongeBob, the meme. This time is different. It's already different. Like, there's nothing comparable. And it's because everybody's educated on new metrics and etc. But guess what, guys? We looked at, there was analysis of several hedge fund strategies. You following, Ian? You listen to what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they did an analysis on several hedge funds. Guess what strategy won? My strategy. And you know what my strategy is I've been saying it to everyone. The buy and hold strategy wins. They showed all these different strategies. People who trade, do emotional sentiment, and they have, those hedge funds have all the analytics you could possibly desire. They have all the mathematicians, every piece of strategy you could possibly think of. But the simplest strategy wins. And it's simply buy projects that are high quality and hold them. and go live your life and enjoy your time and have a party and live your life. You know, if you're working, just keep working and keep buying high quality projects and just hold them. That's it. No analytics needed, no hires, no complexity, no looking at charts every single day. The strategy that wins, buy and hold.
Yeah, I think Da Vinci J says something similar to that. He calls it the little old lady strategy.
Yeah. So
What was the one we wanted to check out? Was it Luna? Somebody mentioned
So
that
Luna
one.
looks like a disaster. I've been buying Luna because I was like, man, this one was so bullish and it was kind of off my radar until like it took off. But now I was like, oh, this is my opportunity to actually buy some because it came back so bad, right? It came back so, but it hasn't had any dead cat bounce, no recovery for it yet. I mean, look at that. No bounce back at all.
I think I looked at this when I was messing around with the live stream by myself. I had looked at it for somebody, and this is what I just circled a big range here because this was a previous chop area, and basically I think if we get above this, then we'll start looking a lot better. But yeah, this is a big BART or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna keep it simple there. There's not really much more to get into as far as the chart. I think if it does, it doesn't look.
It looks like a BART. The whole thing looks like a BART.
I think it can still recover from this point. I don't think it's just dead.
Oh, it's gonna bounce back because it's a strong. Luna's a good project. You know,
Is it? So I don't know. I don't know a ton about it, but if it's on my list from you, it's probably a good. But there's still considerable gains if we do get back even into this region. You're talking a 2-3x up into here.
I was thinking I was going to get 100% pretty quick. That's what I was hoping for. Because I was like, man, this thing came down so far. I was hoping it would at least bounce up to test some kind of pullback from dropping so much.
He said, Mr. Beast, I knew that was you.
Nice. People tell me that. Like, my niece tells me that, too. I look at Mr. Beast. I guess I do. I don't know. I don't see it.
I don't know. I don't watch Mr. Beast.
I've seen some of his videos. So it's pretty funny.
I'm gonna watch it now just because of that.
Okay, so, do you hear about El Salvador? El Salvador.
I did. I think it's something about using their legal tender.
So Bitcoin's legal tender, or they're putting up the. I think he's an elected official. The leader there is putting up during the Bitcoin conference. He said he was accepting it as legal tender, or he's putting up rules to turn it into legal tender. I think that's awesome, dude. That's the first, dude. The dominoes are falling. I'm more bullish on crypto than I've ever been. Like, and I saw Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, talking about putting laws in place that and I'm bullish about algo too. We can look at algo, but putting in laws that are crypto friendly. So it's starting to happen. Like, we are really in like some dominoes dropping type situation where some governments are starting to become friendlier. All it takes is a couple, and we're already starting to see these dominoes. The dominoes are falling. Bing.
Are you
bing,
moving to
bing,
Texas?
Bing, 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 bing. Actually, Florida is the best state for crypto right now because the Miami mayor and the state in general is more like libertarian type state. Someone says pull up an indicator called TD sequential. Have you heard of that, Ian?
Yeah, I'm familiar. It counts it off and stuff, but is that even free? I didn't even know if that's free.
I don't know.
Oh, it is open source on TradingView. I'll put it on one of my other charts. I can do that.
We'll take a look at algo. Someone wants us to look at algo too, but take a look at what he's talking about. TD sequential. Okay, so
you've never heard of that? Not. Yeah, that's right. You're not a TA guy.
What is TD sequential? Explain it to me. Is it?
I can't explain that. You're gonna have to ask him to do that.
Well, I'm a math guy, and a lot of these things are based on math. So
they are.
Yeah. So
just a recipe, right? You know, they tweak them. You put in a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then they. Oh, here he goes. The 9s and 4s. Okay, but yeah, that's just explaining it's a no. He wants to know what's going into it. You want the deets.
Mm.
You're gonna have to do a deep dive on that. You know, I had an idea. Maybe you'd like this or not, but your fundamental videos that you put out, like the one you just did, the research videos you put out. I was thinking, what if you did one on the USD? Deep dive on the USD, and you had your whole web chart out like you do, and instead of it usually being all green like most of your good green crypto web projects, I just want to see how much red there would be all over.
Well, it would be pretty disastrous because the governance component is like it's not even elected. The Federal Reserve is
See,
not
there you
elected.
go. You're already getting started.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just a disaster all around. Like the dollar, the only reason we're used to it is, dude, like when you understand cryptocurrency, you look at our current system and it's almost like it just makes you sick to your stomach that people have used this out like our system that we're using now. Our current system is a disaster for human rights, for human welfare, for human beings. It's disgusting. So let's take a look at Algorand after this.
I don't know which one to get.
So someone's
Glance,
asking
is
me.
this-
Oh wait, someone's asking me like how much is for a single coin. So, like 30%'s a lot. It's okay to hold like Ethereum at 30% in my opinion, or Celsius or whatever, because Celsius is 30% of my portfolio right now. But if a token takes off and it becomes like 80% of your portfolio, it's probably time to diversify. But I don't know. Like you don't. I don't know. Like if Celsius becomes 80% of my portfolio, I'll probably have to take profits, which is unfortunate because I want to just hold Celsius forever. But Celsius has been such a strong performer, it might do that.
What time frame? Obviously, this is TD sequential is going to change time frame to time frame. I'm kind of familiar with it, but I've never used it.
Look at it. It shows these little. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's very useful at what you're looking at right now because it's like too much. Put it on like a daily or something.
I like it for kind of as like a general. This is the daily, and so
Look
I
at all
don't
those
see any
little-
9s or 4s.
Well, it's got a lot of little green sticker things. I don't know what those are all about.
So like here's a 9, right? So I know like in this wave here, so
Mhm.
this had like a good count, just a solid 1 through 9. That's like ideal what you want to see, and basically you would sell here. You would buy down in here, and sell up in here. I think is how it goes. And then it's supposed to do it on the reverse, right? This counted down to like a 9, and then it reverses.
He's saying edit the indicator and remove all numbers except for 4s and 9s, and the two
Okay,
sides.
we can check that out. Making me do work.
Hey man, maybe you're learning something. Like it's always good to
I
learn
know
from
it
the
is
audience.
cool. Yeah. No, you're right about that. I do like learning stuff. Okay, how do I remove? Oh, inputs probably.
So the sequential 4s and 9s typically call bottoms. TD sequential.
I don't know which. How do I know which one I'm gonna remove? Okay, so 1, 2.
Someone's saying they trade the 5s. So this is an interesting. It looks like we're hitting some interesting stuff here.
So they trade what now? Oh, we trade the 5s? Okay, 9s and 4s. 9s and 4s. What was there something else I was supposed to do?
That looks pretty good to
Also,
me.
which
at that.
time
Look at the
frame?
calls on that.
Did he say that? Am I supposed to be look at the daily?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. What about what are we looking at? Hourglass. We're looking at the daily or what?
So yeah, it picked this move up really good, but it didn't tell you to get back in. But I mean, that's okay. and it definitely called this top. I guess if it's just on the top or bottom, it should. If it's a 9 or a 4, it doesn't really matter, right? It's just they're both. The number doesn't really matter. It's just if it's on the top or bottom, it's going to be a top or a bottom, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. Hello, New Zealand, from Lynn.
It is pretty good. Like this one called a bottom. This one told you to get back in. This one told you to get out here. This one had a bottom, but then it gave you a double super bottom with that 9. Those 9, like the 4s are like seem like a maybe, and the 9s seem stronger. I don't know, except for right here. But either way, it's still printing, like it printed a 4 on the bottom, so that's a good sign. I mean, I like seeing that. Other than that, let me turn this ribbon off. On the daily, see, I don't know. See, the thing is on the daily.
Dude, those little guys look to be calling pretty good bottoms on that.
I do like how it puts in this little support and resistance lines too. That's kind of nice. Kind of shows you where the little channels are.
Dude, you should try trading this. Look at that. It looks pretty good. You buy these little red lines, you sell the green ones. You buy the little red ones, you sell the green ones. I don't know.
Yeah, you kind of
looking at Bitcoin right now.
I'll mess with it. I bet what I do is I don't solely like trade off of just one indicator. I wouldn't solely just only use that, right? I use it within like our like macro pattern like I have here. I would use it within a macro pattern where I can kind of expect to see stuff. I would use it on top of looking at general money flow, momentum, look for divergences. I could pull up the EMA ribbons. You know, I'm still cautious, you know, being under like the daily ribbons, being under the 4-hour ribbons. I'm still being cautious, right? So, but it's nice to have another indicator on top of it, because then when I see them all line up and all the stars align perfectly, then I know I probably have a pretty good trade entry. Doesn't mean I'm gonna go ham, but yeah, I'm just waiting for Bitcoin to break out of this big macro pattern. I think it's going up. I'm holding long. The 4-hour to me looks good. I think we're getting a nice just trigger waves on trigger waves, and that's what you want to see. So these trigger waves are triggering towards the upside, so that's why I would lean towards that this big macro pattern breaks to the upside. That's my guess, but I'm in a position where it doesn't matter. I don't care if it goes up or down. I can trade it either way. If I get stopped out, I'm probably gonna immediately flip short and play this to the downside down here, or it's all just a fake out, and then I'd find a spot to get back in. No worries. As long as my risk management is fine, I take my entries where I see fit.
Hourglass is saying it doesn't really matter too much the time frame. You just trade the 9s.
Just trade the 9s.
Trade the 9s. All right, let's take a look at Algorand. Let's take a look at Algo. Okay, so Algorand.
We have a 9 on Luxo.
Luxo, yeah, try it with Luxo. See if that looks like.
Oh, there's a 9 down in here.
Yeah.
There's a 9. And it told you to get out here. So we're still waiting for another buy number, I guess, on the daily. But we did have a 9 back in here, so that's interesting. Algo. What's Algo got as far as numbers? We got a double 4 on the bottom, but then it told you it had a sell 4 there.
Well, reason why I bring up Algo actually in the Miami event they had some pretty good marketing going on. I noticed some aggressive marketing moves. And they tried to do a bunch of partnerships, and they spent $25 million in Miami. That's actually a pretty good commitment, because I know they had $250 million in general raised for their projects. So to spend 10% of it in Miami is a pretty big commitment, you know? And think about it, like you got $25 million, that's enough to hire about 20 software developers or whatever, like a whole team, 25 million is enough for a whole team to constantly be pushing stuff. So Miami Algorand team, something to watch. So what do you think of Algorand's price action right now? Came down a
Well,
lot, you know.
I was seeing if maybe it had fallen into a different pattern, or if this kind of target was met. I mean, it had some pretty wild price fluctuations, and I was looking for a bounce. I was looking to see if this was going to hold as support, and it just sliced uh, right through that support line. As far as I'm just trying to figure out if this is done dumping here. I think when the markets are tied together and each coin is kind of trading within its own, it's consolidating within its own kind of ecosystem, and then something happens, it just kind of, well, actually, if I look at it from, I see an M pattern here, and that could be the target that might have been met, something like this target here, more reasonable. If I took the M pattern breakdown, it's pretty dang close to meeting that. Is it done dumping? I mean, I think if Bitcoin does well, it really helps lift all cryptos. So we could come back up into this, test all this from underneath. It's got some work ahead of it for sure to get back above and create some new all-time highs, I think. But not, it's had some good buy opportunities. I mean, this is one. This is probably, I hold Algo is probably one of my bigger holdings, just because I like, it's just easy interest.
I personally just like, I think it's doesn't get enough attention, and the technology is really there. Like they, from a technical standpoint, have solved the scalability problem. You know, like some people say, oh, you know, you make some compromise between. There is no compromises if you have good technology. You don't need to make compromises. I mean, obviously, there's some compromises in life, but this one, you know, the guy who designed it, I forget his name right now, but he, you know, he won the Turing Award and whatever. And you know, this project, the way its nodes work, participation in the network, it's pretty good. Like it's distributed, yet has instantaneous finality. It's pretty close to instantaneous, so it's a good technology. Algorand is good technology, and it also has some pretty good business sense, as proven by their marketing department, which was actually pretty good in Miami. Like their marketing department was actually, in my opinion, pretty good. Like because they showed, like they got my attention for a couple of their advertisements. I wish I kind of went to Miami, because then I could have gotten a real feel for who. I should have probably just went out there, but whatever. I just worked, but that would have been good work if I just went out there, because I could have like got feet on the ground kind of thing and got a sense for who's really the most aggressive marketing, you know.
Yeah, that's be an interesting way to really get in there and get some more information for yourself.
Sometimes anecdotal evidence is the best evidence, you know.
Sometimes.
So, okay, so we looked at Algo, looked at Kusama. You want to look at ADA? This Cardano?
Yeah, I do. I literally was just clicking on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, people have said this is like a great one to trade. I don't own ADA, but I guess I should have bought it, because a lot of people buy it.
I mean, I got in super early, and then I just got out because I'm like, it's pretty big, and it's gonna be
It's like
probably
the number
a
3 coin.
slow mover.
It's a number 3 coin already.
Yeah, I transferred a lot out of that, so
Smart move, in my opinion. Like, come on, man. Like, but you know, Polkadot's like half the market cap of ADA, and Polkadot's going live. ADA isn't. You know, I mean, ADA's supposed to have smart contracts. It was supposed to release the smart contracts already, and they delayed them and delayed them and delayed them. But you know, like whatever. Like they're taking the patient strategy, and I guess the market doesn't care that they're taking the patient strategy. So We'll see how that pays off in the long run. But I mean, look at that chart. That's not a bad looking chart. But like,
No, it's not.
anything can happen in crypto.
What I like is that this was a resistance here that it wicked to on 3 occasions right there. And it's now found some nice support in that area, right? So it's holding that above that level, and that's it's looking strong, I think,
Mm-hmm.
as far as just general price action where it lies with support and resistance. Looking at money flow and momentum. If this just sometimes these little blips are red, it's all it needs, and we can continue more. So it's still in the green. When there's green, there's life. And momentum, it's coming to a pinch point, that's for sure. I mean, you can kind of see it within the momentum and the price action, right? You're getting kind of lower highs and higher lows, forming just kind of a big triangle. I mean, I am looking at it on the daily, but everything's getting coiled up, right? The whole market is. We're due. This week is
Come on, we
up
got
or
to see
down.
some bullish
Going
action.
one way.
Come on.
I'm leaning towards bullish.
I want to see
But,
some bullish action. These markets have been
It's
boring.
gonna be volatile. We don't know. We don't know which way it's gonna go, but it's getting coiled up, guys. We're gonna see some.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Look at that.
volatile
Look at that. Look at what you have on the screen. Like, something's gonna happen. Either we're gonna drop lower and more fear will come, or we'll finally see some spiking action. But someone said I saw that ADA was held by 98% retail, and the opposite almost was true for DOT. And that's true. For the most researched groups, they always pick DOT. Like the most researched, and the institutions are choosing DOT. And I'm choosing DOT for the same reason. It's because the research shows DOT. ADA has a low number, and retail gets excited about that because they don't even understand the concept of market cap. That's how simple a lot of people think, believe it or not. People are so simple-minded that they'll be like, oh, I'm getting something that's a penny. They don't understand the market cap.
Yeah, it's like people still buying Doge.
Yeah.
I've talked to people like that.
Yeah, and
They're like, well, I like Doge because it's 50 cents. I'm like, it's not cheap though. I'm like, it's more expensive than Kusama. I'm like, you're better off buying Kusama's $400 and cheaper.
Kusama, arguably the best blockchain that's ever going to exist pretty soon. The best project that I've ever seen in like all of them, out of everything. It's going to be live. It's going to, it's going live like now. It has the best token model. And yet people are owning something that's like nearly 20 to 30 times bigger that does nothing. It makes zero sense. But whatever. Hey, in the end, when the tide goes out, and it does take time, you're going to see who's been swimming without their shorts on.
Okay.
Have you heard the saying?
I don't know. I've heard that. I don't think I've heard that one.
Yeah, no, the saying is when the tide, like when everybody can have fun when the water's in, but when the tide goes out, you see who's swimming without shorts on.
That's nice.
Yeah, well, that's the saying.
I hope you got plenty more of those.
That's not mine. That's the intelligent investor.
That's okay. They're never anyone's, right? I mean, they get passed along.
Yeah, that's the way life is. Everything is someone else's hash thing, right?
All right. Well, do we have any other charts we need to?
Okay, so we looked at
Take
KSM
a look
already.
at.
Looked at.
Oh, Doge.
Let's look at Doge. Let's look at it. Doge.
Gonna nuke. Going to a penny. We're coming back down to like a penny.
And I have nothing
I don't
against
know.
Cardano, by the way. Like I would invest in Cardano. I would invest in Cardano if it was a tenth of the price it is now. Like I just can't see it at its current evaluation, because it's not, like even if they were live, even if everything went live, there's like no ecosystem yet. Like Ben Gortzel is like a very smart guy, and he's like one of the only few that I can see. And there's a couple people that like it, and they have some African school or something, but you don't see the community. You see retail talking about Cardano as if it's the biggest thing in the world, but you don't see the developer community. But that could change. That could change. I'm not against it. It's just the way I see things. I could be totally wrong. The thing is, Ian, one of the things that I do, and to my whole audience right now, okay, this is something part of me, right? I assume I'm wrong until I hit my objectives. And I have a certain number, a certain wealth number that I want to hit. And I haven't hit that number yet. So I assume I'm wrong until I hit that number. And when I hit that number, that's how I know I was right. And I'm getting closer and closer to the number. And when I hit it, that's how I know I was right. So that's, and I just have to assume I'm wrong. You get what I'm saying? So I'm always looking. It's a framework that makes me always seek out, why am I wrong? Why am I wrong? Why am I wrong? And I'm trying to constantly turn until and find the patterns to make the best decisions I can make. Yeah, some people are saying they wouldn't touch ADA. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on that?
What, Cardano?
No,
or what you just said?
What I just said about,
Well, what you just said, it almost sounds like, why do you have to be wrong or right? You're just still in observation.
I want to take a position. Like, I think of it like you're making, everything's probabilities, right? Everything's probabilities, like decisions wise. Like, you get in your car.
You're still running the numbers.
Hmm?
But you're still running the numbers. You haven't, I don't know. That's just my thoughts, though. It's okay to look at it as if you're wrong, but.
Well, the reason why I do that is it forces me to ask, what am I missing? All the time, every single day. What am I missing? What am I missing? And I'm constantly seeking the edge. I need some edge. I need something more. Like, I got to find that little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to always find the little thing that gives me an edge.
Well, yeah, when I find it, I'm just going to stick with tried and true. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I ain't going to fix what's broke.
I have I'm not changing my model. I have the model that I go off of. And that thing's been, I do better than anyone I've ever met. But I could always do better. I can always do better. And so I have to ask the question, how can I do better?
No, I mean, that is how you get better.
Yeah. I don't want to be like, oh, I did good. No, I gotta do better.
I am the best. I can no longer improve.
If I can, I gotta hit my numbers. I gotta get those numbers. So
yeah, you gotta pump those numbers out. Those rookie numbers.
Mm-hmm. You gotta do better than 400x. It's not good enough.
Well, looking at VeChain, somebody requested VeChain's chart. Just a quick look on the daily. It's ascending lows. The highs are kind of wicky around
that
here.
That looks bullish. That's a bullish.
It does. Looks good to me. I think when it does run into the 20 to this channel, right, this like 20 cent to 24 cent area, you're gonna catch some resistance in there. I don't like that the momentum has continued to roll down when it is still running into resistance. So even though this is like a really bullish pattern here, it still could break down, honestly.
Someone asked, RBP asked, what are your thoughts on KSM doing a 1 to 100 denomination? And which DOT did. Remember that? Do you remember that, Ian?
No.
So DOT, before they launched, they understood the market psychology of small market better, small number better for buying. Like, people are like, oh, it's a smaller number, I should buy more. So DOT made 100 more tokens than like 100 split per token.
I see.
So Kusama's in talks of doing that now. In my opinion, they should do it to 10,000 to 1, because retail gets all excited about that and you can get free money. So they probably should do it 10,000 to 1 instead of 100 to 1. People will see that number and it'll cause Kusama to rocket, even though it changes nothing about the fundamentals. But hey, why not take the free money? That's what Cardano's
actually looking at VeChain. I am seeing on the 1 hour some positive money flow action momentum, and it's above the VWAP here on the reset. So I think if it holds this VWAP, we could see it come up and try to break out. Everything is coiled up in these pennants, though. I mean, we're due for
We're due
something.
for something, for a spike back. You know.
This is kind of a.
So look at that. I mean, you've been seeing these patterns repeat. Okay, so we're at an hour now, so we're gonna close out soon. But let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a look at that. Look at that. So what do you think? I like your little drawing. It's kind of look like. You think it's gonna bounce all the way up there?
That was a big drawing, yeah, on the daily.
It might do that. Who knows?
Yep. I drew this out thinking that, yeah, we double bottom and continue higher. And then I was thinking that this could be like a second alt season. Now the time span, I don't know, but I just hypothetically, I'm like, we could come up, make like a head and shoulders pattern, something like that, because there's a lot of resistance in these areas when you come across. But yeah, that's this isn't that.
So
that's not the likeliest thing to happen, right? I don't know what the likeliest thing to happen. This is just me having fun.
I mean, look, Bitcoin might recover. It might just plummet lower. Who knows? You know, Bitcoin has been in bearish territory against the alts, though, which I've never seen happen in a bear market, like where the market was going down as much as it was, and the alts were doing better than Bitcoin, which, well, not all of them, but a couple of them were, especially Celsius. But George is asking, will the U.S. citizens be allowed to participate in parachain auctions? I'll let you know more. I really think they will. I'm gonna look at Polkadot.js when I'll know a lot more when it just happens and I can play with it. So I'll be able to answer that soon. And should you unbound your Polkadot now? It takes 27 days to unbound your Polkadot. I would not unbound Polkadot yet. Because, you know, like you'll have plenty of warning before that. But Kusama, I would. Whatever Kusama you want to participate in like whatever ones you want to use. Because it takes 7 days. And I think Kusama is like any day now. They're going to be launching the first. So, Karora is the first one. But I think Akala team is probably going to win it. I don't know if it's the Akala team. They're called Karora. I forget which one. But the Akala team is probably going to get the first one. I think. Karora is the Chainx version, I think. I don't know. Yeah, Dot's a while away. All right, man. Ian, anything else you want to share? And then we're going to kick off because we've been up for an hour.
No, I mean, just the Bitcoin dominance is trying to double bottom here. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm seeing. I don't know what that really means, but it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah. So Bitcoin dominance been collapsing. You know, we've been in some solid alt action. Maybe Bitcoin will recover. We're about to get a spike up in everything in general. Maybe Bitcoin will spike strong. And that crazy news, like, dude, it's crazy how we haven't had any bullish action from the first country accepting Bitcoin as legal or trying to make Bitcoin legal tender. And Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, and the governor of Miami, all of those people, the mayor of Miami, all of those people, you know, like we had some astronomical progress, and yet the market does nothing. So that's something to consider. All right, man. Do you want to switch to some dirt bikes while we exit, or do you just want to straight up and exit?
I don't have anything else set up right now. So
all right. We'll just.
I still gotta scan through that though, but I'm gonna edit some stuff together and have some nice videos up.
All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's nice looking at the markets with you guys, as always. Enjoyed your company, Ian, and enjoyed my audience coming for this night to see some.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.